Hey everyone, I'm back again. I have the worst high-speed internet in the world, which is CenturyLink, and it felt like cutting itself out in the middle of a live feed. So I apologize for that. I'll give everyone a few minutes to hopefully get back into the live feed. Again, my super high-speed internet is really crappy, so I apologize. It completely just cut out, and I had to reboot my whole modem. So. Thanks to everybody at CenturyLink for their lovely high-speed internet. Doing a great job. So again, apologize, internet cut out. I'll let some people get back into the chat and we'll start again. So thanks everyone, appreciate it. Hi to everybody. Sorry about that. Thank everybody at CenturyLink. So back to what I was talking about with stolen photos. We've had a lot of people say to us, the man I'm talking to sent me like 20, 30 photos of himself, and I don't get any search results on any of those photos. Well, scammers steal photos from open Facebook profiles and open Instagram profiles. So you might not get a hit on any photos of the man you're talking to. And scammers will go through an album. Like if you have an Instagram page and you have 100 photos that are open on that Instagram page, a scammer will steal all of them and use them. And scammers often, it's a gold mine. If they find 40 or 50 photos of the same person, they'll use them all and say, oh, here I am on vacation, here I am at the beach, here I am in my office. And it's a total gold mine for scammers. So just remember that if someone tells you, they send you all these photos and you get no hits on them, it doesn't mean that they're legit. It just means that perhaps the scammer has stolen a ton of photos of the same person. So that's kind of how they do it. The same thing goes for military. We've had so many people ask us, how can a military man have all these photos if he's not real? A lot of military guys upload their photos, and they'll upload 50 to 100 photos of themselves at the gym, photos of themselves in the barracks, photos of themselves in front of a Jeep or a tank or whatever with their buddies. And they upload these photos onto their Facebook or their Instagram pages or even military fan pages, and scammers turn around and they steal them all. And that's what they do. So, like I said, if you're talking to a military man and he's got 25 photos, doesn't mean he's real. You need to look at the whole picture. As with any profile, look at the whole picture, look at what they're telling you, look at the situation. So always remember that. Don't count on reverse image search to tell if the person's real or not. That's only just one piece of the whole puzzle in when investigating a profile. Charlotte, how do scammers get into my Instagram if my profile is private? They say who I follow and then try to follow me. Instagram is one of those tricky things. You can have an Instagram profile that's private. I don't use Instagram. You can have a private profile, and a scammer may set up a fake profile and offer to follow you. And if you accept without realizing who they are, or you might even just click off or whatever on it, and they're starting to follow you, they can steal all your photos. And remember, Instagram is like Facebook. It's always changing how the photos are displayed. So you need to check each photo to make sure it is set to private, because I've gone on people's private Instagram pages and not followed them and still can see all of their, not all of their photos, but a big chunk of their photos. So I always check the settings every day on Instagram as well, because they change just like Facebook. The security settings change constantly, and you could think that you got everything set to private, and in reality, there's 10 of your photos out there. But Instagram, like I said, I don't use Instagram. It's one of those kind of tricky pages, and you have to remember Instagram is owned by Facebook and WhatsApp. So all of that is Facebook owned. So they do change the privacy settings on there all the time. So always just go through and check it, and make sure you know who's following you and who your followers are. Sometimes we don't check those kind of things. We just say, oh, I've got 50 followers, I'm sure I know them all. And you might not. There might be one scammer following you with a fake profile. So hello to everybody. Hi, Sherry. Hi, everybody. I appreciate all you coming back since my internet got cut off. So we have another question. Next question is from Lisa. I've been talking to a man online, and he asked me to buy a prepaid Visa vanilla credit card and load it with $25. Then give him the information, the front and back of the card, take a photo, send it to him. I did this, and now there's over $500 on the card. He wants me to take half for myself and send the rest on after I take the money out. How is this a scam? Well, it is a scam, and what it is, it's using you as a money mule. So the vanilla cards are basically prepaid Visa cards where you go to a store, you purchase the card, you load it with, I think the minimum on those are $25. You go ahead and load it, and then you activate the card, and probably 90% of these cards, you activate them by giving the company your name, address, and social security number if you live in the States. Once that information is activated, that card is in your name, it's under your social security number, your credit, and you can load the card or have someone load it for you. Now, what scammers do is after you've activated the card, they will either fraudulently, through wire fraud, load that card up with money, or they'll have victims, because it's actually like a little bank account that has an account number. They'll have victims send you money. So they'll play victims against each other and say, oh, you need to send money to this bank account. Once you take that money out, it's cash in hand. You get it at an ATM. And a lot of scammers will have you keep a couple $100 of it, send the rest forward. Now, the card has been depleted. There's nothing in the card because you've taken the money out. Well, now the credit card company gets a fraud alert that the transactions, the loading of that card was done fraudulently, or a victim sent money to your account and they've filed a fraud report. They investigate. All that traces back to you. It doesn't trace back to the Bob Smith you're talking to online. All of the transactions, the social security number, the name, address, goes right back to you. You will be held responsible for any fraudulent charges and any money obtained on that card. So my recommendation to you is to cancel that card. Don't touch the money that's in there, and explain to that company what happened. Because a scammer is using you as a money mule. He's using you, or she is using you, to fraudulently obtain funds, and they're using your account, your social security number to do so. That'll affect not only your social security number, it'll be flagged as fraud, it can affect your credit score, it can do a whole lot to you. So if someone is offering you money and they ask you to load up a vanilla card or a Visa card or a prepaid debit card or an American Express debit, don't do it. They're using you as a money mule. Normal people in this world don't give you free money. Doesn't work that way. They don't give you $500. They don't just hand you money because they like you. It doesn't work that way. So if a scammer offers you, or somebody you're talking to online offers you money through a debit card, a prepaid debit card, don't do it. Just say no, just block them. A normal person isn't going to do that for you. And a normal person isn't going to want you to open all these credit cards and debit cards. Normal people have their own access to their own accounts and cards. So to Lisa, if you're involved in that, I would definitely cancel the card, let them know what happened, and save yourself a whole world of trouble. Yeah. Next question is from Victor. Why can't you feature more scammers other than ones besides the ones in Nigeria? Well, we do. So here's the issue, and I've done a video about this before, and it frustrates me because there's scammers all over the world. There's scammers in Nigeria, Ghana. There's scammers in Malaysia, Thailand, Russia, the United States, Australia, Canada. There's scammers all over the world. We know that. The issue is the romance scammers, the ones that are using fake profiles, military photos, romancing men and women with fake profiles. The majority of them are coming out of West Africa. And the scammers that we bust, I would say 85% of them are West Africans. It doesn't matter to me where a scammer's from. It's only the fact that we can expose them and educate people not to get scammed. But the sad fact is, there's a lot from West Africa. Now, if everyone from Japan was doing romance scamming, we'd have all Japanese scammers on our page. It's not a matter of us targeting a certain culture, country, or race. It has nothing to do with their skin color. It has nothing to do with where they're from. It has everything to do with the crime they're committing. So I don't choose where scammers come from. I don't choose the ones that we bust. It just, a lot of them do happen to be from West Africa that use the fake profiles. You know, a lot of Eastern European scammers will do credit card skimming or a different kind of fraud. We're a romance scam page. The majority of the stuff we post is about romance scams, fake profiles, dating profiles. So, you know, we can't help where they come from. If you have a scammer from a different country that's doing romance scamming, that's using a fake profile to romance people, bring it to me. Show me proof that they're doing it. Show me proof where they're from, and I'll post it. It has nothing to do with where a person's from. It has everything to do with the crime at hand. So I hope that answers your question. We're not targeting Nigerians. We're not targeting anybody. We're targeting, you know, the scammers, but where they come from, I can't help where they come from. So I hope that answers your question. I've got a question from Donna. I've been talking to a man who says he is on a secret mission to Africa. He said he can't video chat, but he is able to text me on WhatsApp. Amazing, isn't it? He said that he will come home in 2 months, but he has never asked me for anything. How does this make him a scammer? That's a great question. I'm going to start by saying, if you can talk on WhatsApp, you can video chat. WhatsApp has video chat. It's really easy. You just hit the video button and you call the person. It works just like Skype or anything else. Same with Google Hangouts. Real military men, and I've said this a million times, who are on secret missions are not going to tell you they're on secret missions. Military men that are abroad working, doing secret things, they're not going to tell you. And real military guys, and I know a few military men that are in the Army and the Marines and the Air Force, they don't tell people, they don't sit there and chat online to strangers. And as much as I've said this before, I know a lot of ladies out there want a big, buff, strong, oiled up, tattooed, strong, muscly military man. The truth of it is, a lot of these military guys, they're not online. They're not talking to strangers. They're not talking to women online that they've never met. They're not telling them about secret missions. Deployed men and women can video chat. They do video chat with friends and loved ones. I have video chatted personally with a friend who was over in Afghanistan. We video chatted just like I'm talking to you right now on video. So if you're talking to someone and they claim they're on a secret mission and they can't video chat with you, they can't give you any information about where they're at, their APO, anything like that, but they're talking to you on WhatsApp, you're talking to a scammer. You're likely talking to a little scammer kid who's, you know, probably 18 years old. He's not in the military. He's never seen the military. He's never even seen the United States. So, you know, and a lot of people say, well, I'm talking to this man and I think he's fake, but he hasn't asked me for any money. They don't always ask for money. A lot of times, you know, they ask for an iTunes card, or they ask, oh, honey, give me your bank account number. And some scammers will talk to you for months or even a year before they ask you for anything. So you need to remember that. They're not always going to hit you up for money right away. And we get this preconceived notion that scammers are going to hit you up for money right away. They're not. A lot of scammers don't. A lot of scammers will wait months or a year. They want to feel you out. And keep in mind, you're not special. You're not the only person they're talking to. A scammer will be talking to several women or several men at the same time with possibly 2 or 3 different fake profiles. So, you know, if you're talking to someone and they don't ask you for money, but you kind of wonder about their story, it's likely a scammer, and they're just waiting to ask you for money, or they're just waiting for the right time to lower the question. You know, and they groom you. Absolutely, Pauline, they groom you. A scammer, a good scammer, will spend months grooming you, romancing you, sending you poems, telling you you're the most beautiful woman they've ever seen in their life, and that you're the whole earth to them, and they're going to kill themselves if you're not with them. It's an emotional grooming, and it's no different than a person that, you know, is running a cult. You know, you have a religious cult, and you have a leader that keeps telling people these things. It's the same thing. They're grooming you for the money. And remember, at the end of the day, an iTunes card, an Amazon gift card, a bank account, money, that's all they want. They don't care about you. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care anything but money. They copy and paste poems. They copy and paste romance things. And that's another thing I want to address real quickly. Military guys, on their profiles, I talk to at least 5, 6 people a day that say to me, how do you know that's fake? A military guy, a real legit military man, is not going to have his one profile photo and a picture of a teddy bear holding a heart, or a bunch of yellow roses that say "My Beloved," or a bunch of hearts floating with balloons saying "You love forever, love always," or a wedding ring that says "My forever, my queen." Real military men aren't like that. And as much as you like to romanticize the fact that you want this guy that's going to be loving and romantic and give you a teddy bear and give you a rose, military men are generally not like that, and they certainly, on their social media profiles, are not going to have a little heart and a little teddy bear and a little cuddly puppy and other crap like that on their page. If you're looking at a military profile and you have one picture of a military man and the rest of the photos look like something that your 12-year-old daughter would have hanging up in her room on a poster, you're talking to a scammer. And they use those kind of photos because they want you to think that they're sensitive and loving and caring and, oh my God, this man's going to come home and cuddle me and pamper me, and we're going to buy a puppy, and he's going to bring me roses every day, and he's going to leave rose petals on my bed. A real military guy's not like that. And a real military man's profile is going to have other military men on there. They're going to be telling jokes. They're going to be teasing each other, laughing. There's going to be pictures of guns and sports teams and dirty jokes and all kinds of stuff. It's not going to be roses and flowers. So, check on a profile and look at that. And always remember that, because I know that, they'll send you music as well. We've seen, and I've talked to scammers with the profile, and they've sent me a love song, or a Julio Iglesias song, or some kind of cheesy love song, and they'll say, "Oh, honey, I'm listening to this, thinking of you." They don't. They're just sending you things to emotionally manipulate you, and that's what they do. So remember that. But that's the easiest way to tell. And remember, scammers don't always ask for money right away. So keep that in mind. It's not always about the money. It's about the emotional grooming. A scammer with a fake profile could right off the bat ask you for $100, and they very may well get it. But a good scammer will spend 6 months telling you how beautiful you are so they can get $10,000 from you. So it's about the money. And it's about how much money they can get from you. Next question we have is from a lady named Georgia. I reported to my local police a scam, and they can do nothing. I have all the details of the real criminal, his address, phone number, etc. Why won't they do something? And IC3.gov doesn't respond. So here's the thing. If you're a victim of an online romance scam, you can go to IC3.gov. You can file a report. It's an automated system. They take your information, they put it in their database, and they hang on to it. They collect statistics, they collect data. And at the end of the year, they'll come out with a report saying, $5.6 billion lost, 90% of the victims were from Canada or the US or wherever. It's a statistic site. They do gather the information, and if there's, 100 victims that all have the same scammer's details, it's possible they could send it over to the EFCC and look at it. But the reality is the FBI doesn't have, for one, the manpower to go after the scammers. They don't have the jurisdiction. Your local police can do nothing. They can file a report, so there's a paper trail, and please do file a report with your local police if there's any kind of banking or anything like that involved with your bank account, so you protect yourself. But at the end of the day, they're not going to go over to Nigeria or Ghana or Malaysia or Thailand and arrest your scammer. It doesn't work that way. The local police have no jurisdiction. The FBI doesn't really have jurisdiction over it. They can only take the information. They can put it in their statistics. They can send the information over to maybe the EFCC or the Malaysian police or wherever the crime took place or wherever the scammer might be. But that doesn't guarantee that they're going to arrest your scammer. And while the EFCC, as I've said before, they do arrest scammers, the majority of the arrests are made of, you'll see, 10 Nigerians arrested for $6 million in bank fraud. They get the big fish. They're not going to get the 20-year-old kid who took $500 from you using a fake profile. Scammers know this. So don't expect your police to do anything other than file a report and tell you, I'm sorry. And that's pretty much all they can do. And romance scamming and internet scamming and love scams are kind of a taboo subject anyways, and a lot of law enforcement really don't have the means or even the knowledge to go do anything. There's nothing they can do. Like I said, they can't go to Nigeria and bang on some kid's door and arrest them for stealing $500 from you. It's just they don't have the money, the manpower, or the ability. So unfortunately, it's kind of the way it is. But always do file a report, because it's good to have a paper trail if you are a victim of a crime, no matter what it is. So Ethel asked, "What is it with the phone number? Everyone I talk to wants a phone number." It depends. There's some scammers that'll ask you for a phone number. They'll ask you to open a Gmail account and get them a Google Voice number. I'm not sure if is that what you mean. Um, when scammers now, when they try to open a Google Voice number, a lot of times they have to have an American phone number in order um, to validate the Google Voice number. So when you sign up for Google Voice now, it'll ask you for a PIN number, and they'll send that PIN number to your real phone number. And if you don't have a landline or a US mobile phone number, if you're using a text now number or a voicemail number, it won't accept it. So a lot of scammers are asking people for their phone number, or asking them, can I use your phone number to send a PIN number over, and can you register that for me? If someone asks you that, just don't do it. They're just trying to validate a free Google Voice number most of the time. Lauren, the FBI contacted me and gave me advice. I mean, you can call your local FBI office, and sometimes they will give you advice, but if they're messaging you through Messenger, or sending you an email, I'd be very suspicious of that. If scammers are using the fake profile, what is the real person doing? The scammers go off with the account too. Scammers are using the fake profile. Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, if scammers are creating a fake profile, I mean, if you mean the real person in the photo, the real person in the photo can do nothing. Once a photo is stolen, it goes viral in the scammer world, and there's nothing they can really do. A lot of times, if they're using the person's real name and photo and making like a cloned profile, that person can report it. But as far as the person in the photo, there's nothing they can do about their photos being stolen. And that's another thing I want to address. We've had this lady wrote into me, and she actually said, "I need to find the real man in the picture. Please help me." Why? The real man in the photo can do nothing about his photo being stolen. And a lot of these guys, especially the very popular ones like Aaron Ramos and Stuart James and all these guys, they don't want women contacting them saying, oh honey, your photo was stolen. I fell in love with your photo. I just want to let you know. And they're holding on to this hope that this man will fall in love with them. The majority of these guys know their photos are stolen. They have wives, they have kids, they have a family. They don't want to be bothered. And even if you did find the real man in the photo and not find another scammer who's pretending to be the real man, the guy's likely going to tell you to go to hell. I mean, we've had a lot of women who found the real man in the photo and contacted the real man in the photo, and the real man in the photo basically told them to go to hell because they don't want to be contacted. There's nothing they can do about their photos being stolen. And like I said, these guys have wives and kids and families. They don't want to talk to strange women online saying, oh, God, I really fell in love with your face. I'm in love with you, but it was a scammer, and can we get to know each other? They don't care. They don't want to know you. And warning a person that their photos have been stolen is useless, because they can't take the photos back. They can't stop a scammer from using the photos. And like I said, once a photo is stolen, it goes viral. It goes viral in the scammer world. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't get your photo back. And so it's a waste of your time. And honestly, you would be more likely to find another scammer who would pretend to be the real man than to actually find the actual real man. So just remember that, it's not worth your time. While it's heartbreaking to fall in love with somebody online and find out they're not the person that you fell in love with, it's more heartbreaking to put yourself out there and try to find the real man and find out the real man's married or dead or gay or whatever and doesn't want nothing to do with you. The best thing to do is walk away and just know that you were a victim and you can heal from it. But don't waste your energy, your time, and your heart trying to find this real man. It does no good. Lisa Ann, why do they write "Ale" in the middle of a conversation? So that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. So it's a Nigerian slang. It's a Yoruba. I'm gonna get that wrong. It's a slang word in Nigeria. Oftentimes you'll be talking to somebody online with a profile, and it'll be a military guy or white guy, businessman, whatever, named Bob Smith. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the conversation, they'll throw out something like that word, or they'll say, "How far, guy?" or some other Omo, whatever, in Nigerian. It's a Nigerian slang, and they're actually testing you to see if you are actually a scammer yourself, if you're using a fake profile. So scammers will say something like "how far, guy" or "alai," which it's a slang word. It's like trying to see if you're also a scammer. When they say things like "how far, guy," that kind of means like asking where are you from in Nigeria. So you can always Google, and I'll put a link to Nigerian slang words so you guys can take a look at them. But if someone says that to you in the middle of a conversation, they're Nigerian. Just block them. Just go ahead and block them, because they're just testing you to see if you're real or if you're another scammer, and they don't want to waste their time talking to another Yahoo boy. Linda, why do they use the same photos over and over again? Seems so stupid. It does, doesn't it? We see Dr. Pinto every day. I say this before. I see Dr. Pinto and Stuart James in my nightmares. Um, you know, it's weird because while we think that Dr. Pinto's photos are used every single day in hundreds of fake profiles, you'd be surprised how many victims come to me in the inbox and are tricked by his photos. Once a photo goes viral in the scammer world, and they kind of run in cycles, like we had Stuart James's photos for probably the better part of 2015 were being used constantly. And then now he's kind of taken a back seat, and now you have Dr. Pinto. And so it's 2019, and we see Dr. Pinto in our nightmares. We see this man's photo on every single fake profile imaginable. Once a photo goes viral, a guy goes viral, scammers will share that photo in groups, and you might have one scammer sharing that photo, and by the end of the day, 4,000 scammers are using that photo because they think they can get victims with it, and especially doctor photos. So they share them. We think it's stupid. I agree with you, but you have to remember that every day new victims are becoming victims. I mean, due to these photos. So for every 5 people that know who Dr. Pinto is, there's 5,000 that don't, and they fall in love with his photos, or Aaron Ramos's photos, or Jeffrey Miller, or whoever, and they become victims. So while we get tired of the same photos, there's a lot of women and men out there who've never seen those photos, and they fall in love with them. So just remember that. But they do recycle the photos over and over and over again. Peter Schiff's another popular one. Grant Cardone is another popular one. And Steve G. Jones. We've all seen Steve G. Jones, but unfortunately, every day I get at least 1 or 2 victims in the inbox who've never heard of him and who sent Steve G. Jones's photo money. So it does happen. We've got a couple more questions. I've got a woman named Karen. Showed my cousin proof she's talking to a fake via Google image search. He told her he is using a fake name because of all the stolen picture issues. How do we make her believe? That happens a lot. Scammers will, when they find out that their stolen photo has been found out by the victim, they'll say, "Oh, I'm using a fake name, dear. That's my real photo, but scammers have used my photos before, and I don't want them to do it, so I make a fake name." It's an excuse. Another popular one for them to use is, "I've been hacked. I've been hacked. Oh, they took my profile. I've been hacked." It's an excuse. It can be tough when a family member, gets scammed because we want to help them and they don't believe, and it can be frustrating. The only thing you can do, because you have to remember that the scammer is emotionally manipulating your cousin and making her believe that he's real, honey. I'm real. I'm real. I'm real. Show her proof. If all else fails, you can take her to a scam page like ours or any other of the legitimate scam pages out there, and they can also show her proof. Sometimes a family member seeing that person's photo or profile on an anti-scam page can set in with them, and they'll think, "Oh, well, maybe they aren't real. They're on an anti-scam page." All you can do is be there for them. Talk to them. Tell them what's going on. try to convince them, but at the end of the day, it's their choice. And as frustrating as that can be, you have to only do what you can do, and then you have to walk away and let that person learn their lesson. And it's unfortunate, but after you've shown them proof and maybe taken them to an anti-scam page, or gotten other family members involved, sometimes you just have to let them learn the hard way. And unfortunately, it happens quite often. We have family members who say, my mom is falling victim to a scammer, and she won't believe he's fake, but she keeps sending money. And these people learn the hard way, and it's very unfortunate, but it happens quite often. All you can do is support them, show them proof, and if they don't believe you, you have to kind of let them learn the hard way, learn that they are being scammed. So that's the best advice I can give you for that. Can you imagine me talking to Alan Jackson? Later I found out I was talking to a scammer. Where in the world would he have time to chat? It's not stupid of you. It happens a lot. Like we love to think that our favorite musicians are talking to us. It's normal, you know. We're fans of music, and music touches us in many ways, and we think, oh, Alan Jackson's talking to me, or, you know, Bret Michaels, or whoever, our favorite singer, you know. The reality is, and I've said this before, famous people aren't online chatting to you. In the age of social media, it makes it seem like maybe they are, because they have fan pages and they have websites and they post photos of themselves in the kitchen, or photos of themselves before a big concert, and we feel like we're connected with them. And they do that to connect with their fans, but that's where it stops. And real famous people aren't going to message you and say, thanks for being a super fan, I have a prize for you, or I have money for you. It's the same with these Ellen, Oprah. We see Ellen everywhere now, profiles. The real Ellen is not giving away super secret prizes if you give her your credit card number or your address. And a lot of those scammers doing the Ellen pages are in places like Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia. I don't know why, but they are, and they're doing that kind of scam. Just remember that people like Ellen, and Oprah, while they're very generous on their shows, they're not PMing you on Facebook asking you to be a super fan and give me your credit card number and I'll send you $5,000. They're not doing that, and they never will. Sheila, why are a lot of scammers not on Tinai? They steal unknown photos. They just steal photos of people that we don't know, and they don't show up on Tinai. In order to show up on Google Image or Tinai, it has to be a known person or a known stolen photo that has been on there for years. Like, if you were to take a photo of Jeffrey Miller and run it through Tinai, it'll come up with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of anti-scam pages, because his photos have been stolen and used for years. But if you put a photo on there of some random guy that was stolen off of his Instagram page, it's not going to show up, because it hasn't been used a lot in scams. It takes a while to show up, and unless they're famous, it's just not going to show up. It just won't show up. So just remember that. Hi, lovely smile. Nice to see you on our chat. Christina, they even try to video call you, showing a video on the computer, trying to be real. Yes, they do. We've had so many victims say to us, I video chatted with this man. He's real. He was on video. But the truth is, it's a recording. So you're talking to somebody on video, or you're talking to someone on WhatsApp or Skype or Facebook or Hangouts, and they video chat with you, and it's a man, same man in the photo that's sitting at the desk. Scammers will take stolen video feed and stolen pictures and use them, and they play the videos like a movie. So you think you're talking to the real man, and you're video chatting with them. In reality, you're just video chatting with a recording. So what I tell people, and what we always tell people, both of us tell you guys, when you're video chatting with somebody, you're talking to them like I'm talking to you, tell them, hey, while you're on video, write your name, or write my name, or draw a heart, write the date on a piece of paper while I'm on video with you, and hold it up next to your face. And a real legit person will do that for you. A scammer, the video will suddenly break. He'll say, oh dear, the camera broke, I can't help you. If you don't want to be that pushy, And I've said this before, do something simple. Tell them to raise their right hand. Tell them to pat themselves on the back. Tell them to jump up and down. A real person will do that on command. If a person wants to get to know you and they want to video chat with you, they will go ahead and do that for you while you watch. I would do it for anybody. If I'm video chatting with somebody and they say, hey, I don't know if you're real, could you do this or that? I'd do it for you because I'm real and I have nothing to hide. And a real person would do that for you. So that's the best solution for that. So we have one more question, I believe. Donna had asked us. Hello, Donna. She's a page regular. I reported a fake on Facebook and Instagram, and they say he's okay. What gives? Facebook, Instagram, they're all both owned by the same corporation. They are very corrupt, and you can report a blatantly fake profile. You could report a profile where the man's head is not even properly attached to his body, and they'll say it's fine. It's random. And so when you report a fake profile, it may come back that we didn't find anything wrong. It doesn't violate community standards. The truth is, it'll be a fake, and you may have to report it 20 times, but it's all automated. So sometimes you can report a fake profile and it'll be taken down right away. Other times you can report the same fake profile 100 times and it'll still be on there. It's all random. It's all mostly computerized, or it's just somebody looking and going, no, yes, no. There's no rhyme or reason to it. If you report a profile and it's fake, then a lot of times it doesn't. If it comes back that it's not fake, and Facebook says it's fine, it doesn't mean it's fine. It just means that they are randomly just rejecting it. So, like I said, it's all the same. Look at the whole picture. If you report a profile, it comes back that it's not fake, but you think it is. Look at the whole picture. What are they telling you? Why did you report it? Because he said he wanted money, because he was on an oil rig, because he was a widow, whatever. Don't rely on Facebook or Instagram to be the police for you, because they won't always remove fake profiles. Lauren asked, how did my mom get dragged into a scammer's web? It's easy to do. Depends on her situation. Scammers emotionally manipulate people. They, especially if somebody's lonely or someone, hasn't had a partner for a long time, and here comes this beautiful person and it's telling them they're wonderful and amazing and all these things. And a lot of times scammers will do that. They'll hone in on somebody that is lonely or a widow, or maybe, has a lot of free time, is retired, and they emotionally manipulate. They convince them. They tell them things that they haven't heard. And unfortunately, we think of our parents, especially our moms, if they've been widowed or they've been alone for a long time, and here comes a man that, says, oh, honey, you're beautiful. Good morning, sweetheart. I missed you. And it's something that they haven't heard in 30 years. It's going to do something to their head. It's going to manipulate them. And unfortunately, it happens quite often. And it's frustrating for the children and the family members, because we want to help them see that they're being scammed, but the scammer has just emotionally kind of brainwashed them and thinking, no, this man's real. He calls me every morning and says I'm a wonderful woman, and he sends me my favorite songs, and they know how to work people. Scammers are professionals. We think of scammers as stupid, we make fun of them all the time, but in reality, they're psychologically smart. They know how to manipulate people, and that's unfortunately what they do. And it can be tough to break away from somebody who's manipulating a loved one. What about people asking for gift cards like Amazon cards? Don't give it to them. Scammers ask for Amazon cards. What they do with them? A couple things. They sell them. They can sell them online. There's a couple of online websites that actually just buy gift cards. So if you send a scammer a $100 gift card, they can sell it online for $95. And they'll get that cash put into their PayPal account within minutes. And that's something that they do quite often. And also, they will go ahead and use those gift cards to buy things for other victims. So let's say you are a victim of a scammer and you sent a $50 gift card. That scammer may turn around with that Amazon gift card, spend that $50 on a victim, a different victim who may give $1,000 to a scammer because he bought her a nice bracelet through Amazon. So they do use them to manipulate other victims. They also sell them. They trade them online as well. Linda Riff, they look for overweight, lonely, widowed, homely people. Not necessarily. No, they look for anybody. That's not really true. They look for anybody, and I know plenty of very beautiful women and very handsome, fit men who have been victims of a scam. I mean, honestly, the majority of the women that come to our inbox wouldn't have trouble finding a man. A lot of them are very well kept, very intelligent and beautiful women, and are victims. So it's not, they don't always look for that. That's not necessarily true. We get this notion that, you know, scammers are only looking for the ugly people. That's not true. Anyone can become a victim of a scammer. In fact, and without giving her name, we had a lady in our inbox last year who got scammed for quite a large amount of money, and she was a very famous model. And I can't give her name, but she was a very beautiful, very fit, very famous woman, and she was the victim of a scam. So it can happen to anybody, not necessarily someone that's overweight. So, you know, and so if anyone has any more questions, I'm happy to ask. We've kind of addressed all of the questions that were written into us. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them now. Otherwise, we'll close the Q&A. I'll be doing another one in April, hopefully. Like I said, in February, I was away. I was in Canada for almost 2 weeks, and I was freezing to death up there. And I wasn't available to do a video chat then. And also, I've had one lady ask us if we're going to do any more victim stories. Yes, I apologize that our YouTube channel has kind of been neglected as far as making videos. I've got a couple videos coming out this week with victim stories, and I hope to have one out tomorrow morning. So I appreciate all of you who have submitted your stories. And again, if you'd like to tell your story, you know, you're more than welcome to, and you can remain anonymous. And we'll always share your story. If you'd like to share your story, it might help other people. I'll narrate it for you. And we will be doing more YouTube videos. We're on YouTube at Scamming Scammers. I do all the videos there, and I'm hoping to get more out this week. I do apologize. It's been very slow, and I haven't had any old lady chats for over a month. I hope to do more soon. I just haven't had the time. I work a lot, so I apologize for that. But anyway, if anyone has any questions, you can ask them now. If not, I'll close the Q&A for the month of March. I appreciate all you guys coming here, and I appreciate you guys in the inbox and everything you do. Just know that we're always here for you. One of us is always in the inbox. We're always helping you. And remember that we get a lot of messages, sometimes 200, 300 messages a day. So if we don't answer you right away, we will get to you. So just please be patient with us. It can be tough sometimes. So Ethel, quick question. What is with the peacekeeping missions? They're all on peacekeeping missions. It's just a popular thing they say. They'll say, you know, I'm deployed to Yemen, I'm deployed to Iraq, I'm deployed to Afghanistan, I'm deployed to Nigeria on a peacekeeping mission. It's just popular excuse for them to say. It's a way for them to be out of the country. It's a way for them to ask you for money, because they'll say, I'm on a peacekeeping mission and I need money for food. It's just something very popular. And really, honestly, if you're speaking to somebody online and they say they're on a peacekeeping mission, it's more than likely a scammer, because real men who are peacekeeping are not on the internet talking to you about it. They're very busy. So please remember that. Charlotte, how's Ann? She's doing okay. She's recovering. She's still having issues from the surgery, and she'll have to have more surgery this coming year. But for right now, she's doing okay. She's resting, and she is in the inbox. She does work the page, so if you do see her, she'll be in the inbox. She'll say hi to you, and that's, you know, when she can. But every day she's in here, and she really appreciates all your thoughts and prayers, and hopefully maybe she'll do a video sometime in the future as well. Because on our YouTube channel, she's done a couple of videos a few years ago, but she's doing well, and you'll see her more. as time goes on. So I appreciate it. Please advise on family getting involved. Lauren, as far as with your mother being scammed, it depends on the situation. Um, if there's a lot of money involved in the scam, or if your family member is losing a lot of money, um, there are ways kind of to help them if they won't listen to you. It depends on their age. If they're an elderly person, I hate to say this, but you could try for power of attorney, try to take control of their finances. We've had a couple of children whose parents were scammed, and they went ahead and got power of attorney over them because they were losing all of their money in their homes. So that's a possibility as well. Melissa said, do you see the government ever doing more to prosecute scammers or laws brought forth? No. Honestly, I don't. Here's where it kind of stands. As far as the United States government, our government could really care less, to be honest with you. Our government right now is such turmoil with each other that I don't think internet scamming is, I think it's very low on their list of priorities. They're more involved in other things right now. As far as the government in Nigeria and Ghana, the couple of law enforcement and politicians in Ghana have even come out and said, I would rather have our youths scamming online to make money than have them running around the streets of Ghana robbing people. So they know it's lucrative. They know that their youths are making money. And no, I don't see them doing anything about it. I think, the EFCC in Nigeria does step up and they do their part, but I think there's so much corruption. I think that it's never going to end. And I think as technology gets better and better and these scammers have more and more tools, and pages like Facebook give them the option to go ahead and scam, they're going to keep doing it. It's not going to change. It's not going to get better. The only time it's going to get better is if we stop giving money, and we stop buying gift cards, and we stop doing all these things. And that's the only way that they're gonna stop. But I don't see the government stepping in and doing very much. I mean, I've never seen them do very much in the past 5 years. So unfortunately, Craig, I don't know why you're not getting notifications. I posted it a few times about our live chats. If you want, drop us a message in the inbox, and I can message you next time we do a live Q&A. I'm not sure why a lot of people aren't getting notifications, and Facebook does like to censor us. So if you share our stuff, we show up in your newsfeed more. Yeah, a lot of people have told us that they're not seeing the stuff we post. Do know that every day there's at least 20 to 30 things posted on our page. So if you're not getting notifications, just maybe visit the page once a day or when you're on social media. Because a lot of times Facebook censors us. They censor a lot of anti-scam pages, unfortunately. So. Ethel, one thing scammers do is say, my wife and child is dead. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's a play on emotions. So you're talking to a man and he says to you, my wife died of cancer. I'm 65 years old. My wife died of cancer 3 years ago, and we have a 4-year-old child. It's just something to play on the heartstrings. So you think, oh, this poor man raising this little baby. And also keep in mind, and I notice this a lot, scammers will say they're 50 years old and they have a 3-year-old, or they have a 2-year-old, or they're 65 and have a 4-year-old child. I don't know why they do that, but they do. But they definitely play the widow. My wife died of cancer. My little son Kelvin has no mommy. It's just a play on your emotions, unfortunately. Pauline, I get threats as well. Yeah, I get threats too every day. I've had 1,000 scammers threaten to cut my head off. I tell them good luck. If you're being threatened by a scammer, just block them. And keep in mind that a scammer who's threatening you is just desperate, and it's the last attempt to try to get money from you. So they'll try to scare you. Just block them. And in reality, the majority of these scammers are in a place like Lagos. They're not going to fly out or come to your home. It's very rare. So, Linda, Facebook needs to take an active role with scammers. I agree. Facebook is corrupt. Facebook doesn't care. Facebook is about making money. They have banned us from Facebook 3 times. They have shut our page down twice. They don't care. They care about money. They allow scammer groups to run trading stolen credit cards, and when you report those groups, they say it doesn't violate their standards. I think eventually maybe it'll come down to Facebook getting popped for what they're doing. They're allowing their platform to be used for illegal activity. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, but you know, it's just going to keep going. The scammers betray the government. They do. They do, and keep that in mind as well. The EFCC, the FBI, the CIA, all these IRS, all these blah, 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 they're not messaging you on Facebook. So if you get a message on Facebook from the FBI, you're talking to a scammer. So please keep that in mind. All right, if anyone has any more questions, drop them now. Otherwise, you can come to our inbox, and I'll definitely answer them for you. We'll do our next Q&A probably in about a month. Look around April 17th or 20th. Maybe we'll do it on 420. But we definitely will try to get a Q&A every month of going here on out. I do appreciate all you guys being here, and thank you for coming. And sorry about the glitch earlier. If you need help, our inbox is always open. And also you can check out our YouTube channel, Scamming Scammers on YouTube. But like I said, don't forget to like and share. The only way we can stop scammers is if we share and tell people about these kind of scams. We can't stop them if we don't talk about them. So that's the most important thing to do. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close. Thanks, everybody. And again, I appreciate your thoughts and prayers, and I appreciate you guys for everything you do. I will talk to you guys in April. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day, and keep the money to yourself. Don't give it to the scammers. Enjoy your tax refunds. Spend it on yourself and your kids and your family. Don't spend it on some stupid scammer in Nigeria, Ghana, Malaysia, wherever. So thanks again. I'll see you guys next month. If you need help, inbox is open, and I'll talk to you then. Bye.